Hello everybody, this is Chirping Matt here with something a little bit different. If you've been following me for the past few days, you know that I've been playing a lot of Escapists 2. Specifically, I've been doing 100% solo speed runs, which means do every prison except the tutorial prison and DLC prisons. Do some sort of solo escape on every map, and try to do that all as fast as possible. This is still speedrunning, but it's a little bit different. This is an individual level speedrun for Fort Tundra. We're just trying to escape Fort Tundra as fast as possible. Why am I trying to do this? Well, there's a few reasons. The first reason is because I was watching back the sub-hour speedrun we did yesterday, and I realized there were some things about my Fort Tundra escape that I could be doing better to make it more efficient and slightly faster. Only slightly faster. Fort Tundra is still going to be where it's still going to be the prison that takes by far the most time out of any of them. But yeah, we are debuting a new strat here. We still have to find a bunch of quests, which is what we're doing here, to get a bunch of money to buy some items from people. So basically, let's run down what the new strat is. The new strategy, there's two main things about it. The first is that I realized we were breaking through two walls to get over to the place where we dig. I realized that was inefficient. There's a way to get over there breaking just one wall. So that's the first improvement. The second improvement is that I switched to using a level 3 pickaxe instead of a level 3 shovel. There's two reasons. Well, I guess two reasons why. The first reason why is that building the pickaxe takes less materials, and they're more common materials. Instead of you needing 3 steel sheets, you just need 3 timber. And you still need 3 duct tape and the file. But you also need a crowbar, but we were getting crowbars in the previous method anyway. The only difference in that part, and we still do need another iron bar on top of all that, I should say. The only part of that's any different from the previous strat is that the previous strat, they could both have been iron bars and you'd be fine. In this one, since we're using a crowbar to make the pick, they do both. At least one of them does have to be a crowbar specifically. That's the only difference in the wall breaking components part, or the only difference in the part of the things you buy from the other prisoners. But yeah, other than that, the difference in the materials you need is that you just need a bunch of timber instead of a bunch of sheet metal, which is much easier because timber is both more common in this level, plus the beat the bully quests you can find around that you can get from the other prisoners can force extra timber to spawn, whereas it couldn't force extra sheet metal to spawn. So getting timber is just overall much easier, and it's much more consistent to use timber to build the thing you need instead of sheet metal, just because the timber is so much more common. The second reason why we do the pickaxe instead of the shovel is because it turns out the pickaxe is much better at digging through the ground than the shovel is. Go figure. The pickaxe, when you hit each hit on the ground takes away 25% of a ground piece. Each hit with the shovel only takes away 20%. So you have to do less hits to dig through the same amount of ground. So getting the pickaxe makes the actual escape sequence a little bit faster because it's, what would it be? It's 4 less hits you have to do, which just makes the escape sequence a little bit faster. There are a few minor details about our escape sequence that we also changed, and we're going to talk about those when they happen. So I've already got all my intellect up, and I checked through the medic desk just to see if we could find an adrenaline shot. There was no such thing. There was a banana. We ate that quickly to get back some energy that we spent from leveling up our intellect. So we already have 1 timber and 1 duct tape back in our desk. We picked up quite a few good quests, and we just found another timber in the desk above the infirmary. So as it stands, we need 1 more file, which we just found there, so that's taken care of. And we just need 1 more timber and 2 more duct tape. Which shouldn't be too hard to find, especially considering there's still around 20 desks left to check. We should have plenty of time to find those items. Along the way, we're going to be trying to pick up some items we're both picking up quest items to finish off all the favors we picked up, And we're also picking up items to give to other prisoners as gifts, just to make sure they're happy with us, and they will actually sell us their items when it comes time to that. We're going to try to do that more so like as we go, instead of having to rush to pick up a bunch of items as gifts right at the end. We can just save ourselves some stress by doing it as we go. Which is why we're picking up those pieces of coal, because it turns out the pieces of coal are very good gifts. So anyway, what are we doing right now? So yeah, we're still looking for the other components for all the stuff we need. We find another duct tape from the Beat the Bully quest we picked up, and it is actually already in our desk, but we do need to get it in our inventory before we dump the quest, so that the duct tape becomes permanent. There, so now we just need one of each. We're actually going to quickly find the duct tape in here, which means we just need to find the one more timber. So, knowing that we only need to find one more timber, we can spend more of our focus finishing quests and returning, completing the favors to make sure we get the money to buy the crowbar and or another crowbar or an iron rod for both crafting the pickaxe and breaking through the wall. So what's the other reason why we're doing this? The other reason why we're doing this is because I've been talking a lot with the main IL runner for this game. He goes by different usernames on different websites. I'm going to call him by what he goes by on YouTube, which is where he posts his runs. There he goes by Stealtho. So if you look him up, you'll see a lot of his individual level speedruns. He's been talking to me more and more after my 100% speedruns came out. And he's been talking about how he wants to start doing the 100% category. And the main reason he didn't before is just because there were certain prisons he thought were like really hard and annoying, and he didn't want to have to deal with them until he saw my speedruns and saw that there were ways to do them. So anyway, the two especially were Rattlesnake Springs, just because I mentioned in that first run he didn't actually know about that really easy strat I found. And the other one was this, Fort Tundra. And Fort Tundra, just because it is a very hard map, it's hard to get consistently, as we've been discovering. But this new strat hopefully makes it more consistent. For him, like when he was starting to practice all the different maps for preparing for a 100% speedrun, he was having trouble using my strat. And so what he actually was talking to me about, and what he decided to do, was actually try to escape using the Rockhammer Hard Place questline. He was actually doing the special solo escape, not the perimeter escape. The reason I never really went for the special escape is just because in my mind it sounded like it'd be pretty hard to complete an 8 quest line that you have to do one at a time, plus get all the intellect you need, and you also need to craft level 2 cutters in order to do it. That all just seemed like a lot of work, and it'd be hard to do on time, and like just in my mind I thought getting the level 3 shovel was easier. Well, now it's a level 3 pick, which is even easier. But he found it easier to use the Rockhammer Hard Place questline, so that's what he's been practicing. He actually, and the thing about it, since this was one of the prisons he always thought was hard and annoying, he never actually submitted an IL speedrun for this until earlier today. He told me that he submitted a 18 minutes and 43 seconds run. And I kind of asked him details about what happened in that run, and we figured out that due to certain inefficiencies he was doing, he could actually get down to an optimal time of about 18 minutes and 10 seconds. And that got me wondering, well, I kind of talked to him about the edits to my strategy that I was making, and we kind of got talking of I started wondering which of our strategies is actually faster. So that's the other main reason why we're doing this. We want to see which of the strategies is faster. I did a lot of test runs when I was thinking about the edits to the strategy, just to make sure, just to see if it was more consistent or if I should just stick with the shovel. And indeed, this is way more consistent. I think in all the practice runs I did, and also all the actual attempts for this IL run, I only had one where I didn't get all the items in time. Every other run either succeeded or failed just because I made a really stupid mistake that didn't have anything to do with making sure I had everything in time. So anyway, we're going along. We're focusing on getting all the quests done to make sure we have the money to do everything. We already got the crowbar. We crafted level 2 pickaxe. I think I haven't quite noticed here. I've forgotten that we still needed one more timber. But anyway, we finish that quest, we get exactly the right amount of money and find this guy who is already friendly with us, and we get the other iron bar we need. So now, in my mind, I thought we had all the stuff we needed, but when I go back to my desk, I'm going to realize, oh, I still need another timber. And actually, before we do that, we saw this guy walking by our desk. I'm going to beat him up. The reason why I'm going to beat him up is so that I can take his regular prisoner outfit. Because we used ours to make this medic outfit we're wearing. The reason we want a regular prisoner outfit is just because, just for heat management. Because if you're wearing disguise, anytime the guards can see you, your heat will slowly rise. If you can change into a regular prisoner outfit, you can avoid that. So we beat that guy up just to take his regular prisoner outfit. And right about now, I'm panicking because I've forgotten that we still needed to find one more timber, and we're starting to run out of time. But really, we still have plenty of time. It's like 5.5 hours until the roll call starts, so we've got plenty of time to get that timber together. Although it's less time until the second job time period starts, which is really the benchmark when you want to have everything ready. And we'll go into why that is the case. We're looking through these discs. I don't know why we talked to that guy with the shop. It's not like buying the other timber was really going to be the best option there. But we are lucky. We found someone with a quest. We talked to him and see what it was. It was a beat the bully quest, and we took it and tried to generate another timber, and lo and behold, we did force another timber to spawn. So we just need to check through the 3 quest markers to find this last timber we need, and then all the materials are ready for this escape. The other thing to note, we haven't really been focusing too much on getting energy items. There was one soda can that we dropped off over at the cafeteria. That one soda can is really all you need, because of the fact that we're only breaking through one wall, plus the fact that it takes less hits with the pickaxe than the shovel. Energy restoration is really not really that much of a concern with this new edit to the strategy. So we're looking pretty good here. I go back because I realized I didn't craft a bed dummy to put in my bed. Really, you probably don't actually need a bed dummy. Because we're going to see at the end of this run that we're pretty much already done with the escape sequence by the time the return to cell period actually ends. So really, you probably don't actually need to do a bed dummy, but I decided to go back and do it just because precaution, and also just a force of habit. Probably more the force of habit, but I think it is good practice just to do the bed dummy anyway if you've got the time. So anyway, we're going to check into dinner time. You don't need to pass the contraband detector to check into dinner time, and we're just making sure that that star meter stays low. Otherwise, the guards are going to be especially vigilant. So we check into dinner time really quick, and we can go over to job time to wait for that to start. Once the second job period starts, is when we can start to get to work on getting ready for the actual escape sequence. This is the time you really want to have all your materials ready by. And with this new, more consistent method, like 4 times out of 5, you're going to have all the materials ready by this point. So this is a much more consistent method, and it's, again, it's slightly faster. But we still gotta see if it's faster than the rock, hammer, hard place method. I think you saw me pause there a little bit. I did that to check a Steam message, but again, individual level, we're going by the in-game time from the score report at the end. So that little pause doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the speedrun. It doesn't affect our time. So anyway, so we got the check into job time. What we're gonna do here, we're just waiting for the guards to leave the cafeteria. As soon as they're far enough away, we're gonna trip the contraband detector just to get all our contraband through the contraband detector. Why are we doing this early? Usually we would wait till roll call to do this. Well, the thing is, running under the contraband detector with the contraband in your inventory instantly sends your heat up to 100%. Since we're only breaking through one wall anymore before we get to the outside, that causes us a problem because it'd mean we have to wait for our heat to die back down to at least less than 80 before we can actually break through that wall. Otherwise, once we step out, the snipers are going to shoot us. So we want to get all the contraband in here early. We ended up deciding to beat up the guard instead of just waiting for him to leave. Lucky we did that because we actually found an adrenaline shot, which, again, not necessary, but it's just nice to have. And speaking of the fact that we have the adrenaline shot, what you're going to see me do you're going to see me use the iron rod to break through all of the wall. Normally, you only want to use the iron rod for one hit on the wall and use the pickaxe for the rest of the wall. The reason why you want to do that is because the iron rod costs 20 energy per hit, the pickaxe only costs 5. It's more energy efficient to use the pickaxe for as much as possible. The only reason you do the one hit with the iron rod is because the pickaxe doesn't have enough durability to break the entire wall plus do all the digging. You need to get at least one hit on the, you need to get at least 20% damage on the wall without the pickaxe, which is the entire reason we're still bringing the iron rod. But since the pickaxe costs less energy, you want to use the pickaxe as much as possible. We're going to end up using all of the rod just because we found that adrenaline shot. We've got plenty of energy. We don't have to worry about it. So right now, we're just waiting for our heat to die down. What we're going to do, since we brought all our contraband through the contraband detector, we're going to leave it in the cafeteria. This is a little dangerous because if guards get frisky and go into the cafeteria like we've seen them do before in the speedruns, they might see that contraband and confiscate it, and then you ruin the run. But the thing is, we only have to leave the cafeteria to really quickly go up and check into roll call. And the only reason we do that is just to make sure a lockdown doesn't start. So it's only about like 20 seconds real time that you're out there. It's low enough time that it's worth the risk, I think. Because again, not tripping the contraband detector after roll call starts, just make sure you're able to get there as soon as possible and start the digging as soon as possible. So we're leaving, we're going to roll call, we're checking the map to make sure no guards are walking into that area. We're good, no guards did. We checked into roll call and now we're going back down as fast as possible, again just to make sure the guards don't take our stuff. That is probably a little bit risky part of the strat, but it does help. And there's a big reason why. So we've got low enough heat, we can start digging right away. Or we can start breaking through the wall rather. And again, we're doing this all with the iron rod because we got the adrenaline shot. It doesn't matter. Normally, you just want to do one hit with the iron rod. So anyway, I may have mentioned this earlier, but I did some experimenting with digging at night and found out the earliest you can dig at night is actually exactly 11 minutes after roll call ends. In this case, for this map, roll call ends at 0 o'clock. So the earliest you can dig, is 0:11. Right then, and no earlier, you can start digging. The whole reason we do all that stuff with that crazy risky stuff with the contraband detector is so that we can make sure we have low enough heat that we can start digging right at that 11 minutes. So we did. We started digging right away. This is as fast as possible you can do Fort Tundra with this method. We had a little bit of inefficiency there because we couldn't get into the hole because our inventory was still open. So we lost a little bit of time there. We're also going to lose a little bit of time up here because we accidentally pressed the button too many times when we're trying to get up, and we actually accidentally go back in and have to press it again to go back out. All in all, that probably lost us like 2 or 3 seconds. Otherwise, this run is optimal for this strategy. The time we ended up here was 18 minutes and 12 seconds plus some fraction. So in the end, the optimal time for this strategy is about 18 minutes, somewhere between 18 minutes and 9 seconds and 18 minutes and 10 seconds. In other words, it's pretty much exactly the same optimal time as the strategy of just using the Rockhammer Hardplace questline. So that is interesting. What it really means is that you can do if you're doing this in 100% solo speedrun, you can do whichever strategy you prefer. Just do whichever one you find more consistent. And I was talking about this with Stealtho, and we thought this was really cool, that this part of the run really does just come down to preference, whichever one you feel is more consistent. So that's really cool. So yeah, either strategy, your optimal time is about 18 minutes and 10 seconds. So just do if you're practicing for this run, like some people have told me they are, just do whichever strategy you feel you're more comfortable with. And that's awesome to know. So I hope you enjoyed this little spiel about strategies in Fort Tundra. And I will see you some other time.